Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Fresh Fit Podcast. We're here with Bruce Rivers, man. Criminal Lawyer Reacts, man. It's going to be lit. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fresh Fit Podcast. We're here with Bruce Rivers. Quick announcements, guys. Patreon.com/FreshFit. Get all the behind-the-scenes content that you can't get anywhere else besides, you know, me kicking out annoying girls. We also talk about making money, cryptocurrency, real estate investing,
credit score,
getting your credit score
real
up,
estate,
how to get setup dates, how to get laid, all that other stuff. But, you know, we just help you guys out with there and become a better guy. So check us out over there, Patreon.com/FreshFit. Also, DMs on Demand, guys, is back up. But that website, yeah, it's the last day, but that website doesn't work. So I'm going to give Chris a link and he'll put it in the chat later on. So don't worry about that. Also, we're on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, every single platform you listen to us on. You can listen to us for podcasts. Check us out over there, whether it's Spotify or CastBox, any smaller platform, we're there. Check us out. Also, merch, freshfitpodcaststore.com. Get the t-shirts, hoodies, Punisher shirts, Fresh Fit Podcast shirts. Everything is there. Also, check us out on YouTube with our other YouTube channel, Fresh Fit Clips. If you don't have time to watch the full-on podcast, check us out at Fresh Fit Clips. And then also, Fresh, you want to talk about your vlog channel?
Behind the scenes, man, we're out doing our thing. Outside the studio, check it out. 50K on the way. It's already done. 100K is next. Let's go.
Cool. And also, guys, we're on Twitch, twitch.tv/FreshFitPodcast. And then, Chris, you want to talk about your Twitch real quick?
Follow me on Twitch on Aaron Parkson. We did a stream last night with Halo Infinite. So let's get it. Merch Gang, we out here.
Cool. Are you good at that game yet or no?
Oh, yeah, I am, pretty much. Shout out to Hollow Brooks, by the way. We got 7 Ws. Merch Gang, we out here.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And, yeah, and then, guys, check us out on Instagram, Fresh Fit Podcast. But anyway, without further ado, man, we got Bruce Rivers in the house, man.
Hey!
So, Bruce, we know who you are. You know, you're criminal defense attorney, and you have a YouTube channel as well that's blowing up right now.
Yep.
But for the people that may not know who you are, can you introduce yourself to the people real fast?
My name is Bruce Rivers. I am a board-certified criminal defense lawyer. I practice mainly in Minnesota, but I go from state to state depending upon the type of case it is. And I just love what I do. I have had my own practice right out of law school. Just tried a case a couple weeks ago, got the 2-word verdict that we all love to hear, you know, and I just love it. I couldn't ask for a better job. And my son Michael, he got this idea of
doing. Shout out to you, Mike.
Shout out to Michael right here.
He's in the back right there, man.
Coach Cam.
Yeah, he's on the Coach Cam.
Girls. And Michael could use your how-to in the getting laid department. Actually, he needs no help in that department.
There you go.
He's a good wingman. Anyway, so I have a great little practice. We started our the YouTube channel, and we just love it. Just love it.
No, awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up, where you're from originally?
I grew up in Richfield, Minnesota, just a suburb outside of Minneapolis, and I graduated high school, went to college, and
where'd you do your undergrad in law school?
At Augsburg University is where I did my undergrad. And then while I was working for my father had an ambulance company, and I was dispatching one day, and all of a sudden in comes the agents from the Attorney General's office.
Oh.
And the cops came in, and they seized all of his business records, and they charged my dad, his secretary, and his partner with Medicare and Medicaid fraud.
Oh!
It was a big case, about a 6-week trial. He had a lawyer that is a piece of human refuse, as I would like to call it, and just saw how much money he had and took it, right? And one of the lawyers that had never tried a criminal case. But he figured it didn't do anything wrong, and the system will just work itself out. Well, he wound up going to prison.
Oh.
And the day before he was supposed to go to prison, he tried to shoot himself with a .38.
Oh, wow.
I wrestled the gun out of his hand. My brother and my brother-in-law tackled him, took him to the hospital. He wound up doing 18 months, and then it was on probation for 10 years after that. Lost his business, and really it was a defendable case. but that's why I became a lawyer out of that set of circumstances.
Wow.
That's deep, man.
So seeing your father be misrepresented by basically a lawyer that wasn't worthy made you like, no, I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people.
Right. And so I'll sit there and, I know the gravity of what's facing that person from a personal level that's sitting at counsel table with me. And when I get that not guilty, it is like freeing my father all over again. It's just, it is just it's just you get a really great feeling, and you got to be the impetus for change. You protect people's lives, and sometimes your clients are guilty as hell, and there's nothing you can do except for try to, like, especially on bad
mitigate the
cases.
damage or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you try to get them to get sober, or you get therapy, or whatever the issue is in the case. Marshal the change, and but I love those two words. I just fucking love those. Pardon my French.
No, you good. This is fresh and fit, baby. You good?
Say whatever.
All right. Well, just don't tell me to get the fuck out.
No, that's only
Frank
for
Castle.
annoying people.
But
We rock with you, bro.
Those two words, it is just awesome. It's still, like today I was watching the verdict live. That Rittenhouse.
Yes.
case.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sitting there watching it, and my palms are sweaty. My heart is pumping. When you're sitting there as a criminal defense lawyer with your client, and you get the word that the jury's got a verdict, the time between that notification and when the the verdict is read seems like an eternity. Your palms are sweaty, your heart is beating fast, you're looking around. There's nothing you can do. You just have to wait.
Yeah.
And it just, when I was watching that verdict come in today, holy crap! You're just like, it was like I was my case almost, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? You just kind of muscle memory and just have that initial reaction.
In your opinion, was the verdict good or bad? In terms of, like,
It was good for him.
good for him. But in your opinion, is that right or?
I predicted it exactly because I mean, this guy, for each person that was shot, he was being attacked, and to me, it just came down to whether or not the use of force was reasonable. That's really what it came down to.
Right.
And when you have a self-defense case, and the jury gets the instruction for self-defense, it is the prosecutor's job to prove that he didn't act in self-defense. So, in other words, it's the presumption of innocence.
Yes.
You walk into a courtroom. You're not guilty. You're presumed innocent. Well, when you get the self-defense instruction, self-defense is presumed, and unless and until he says, the prosecutor proves that it wasn't, it's pretty tough, and it's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt. So I thought there wasn't, and plus the prosecutor in that case just kept stepping in pile of dog shit after pile of dog shit,
Yeah, the prosecution, and we'll break that case down too, guys, in a little bit more detail. I just want y'all to kind of get the background on Bruce a little bit. So, so you got motivated to become an attorney from seeing kind of a miscarriage of justice on your father's side,
Right.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh, I think I was probably, I was 24 because I hadn't yet graduated from college because my graduation day, I went out to the prison to meet with my dad.
Oh.
He was in prison. And so I started, and then he got a new lawyer to do the appeal. And so I started doing some work for his new lawyer to see if I liked the work. And I started doing investigation, and he helped me get into law school. And then, I just started.
Where'd you do law school at?
Well, it's now called Mitchell Hamlin, but it was William Mitchell College of Law in St. Paul.
In St. Paul, okay.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota. And and I just love it. I love everything about the practice of law.
And so fresh out of law school, you probably 24, 25 at this point when you got out?
Oh no, I was 31.
You were 30. Oh, so you started
I-
law school at what? How old when you started?
Well, let's just start with college.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was a shitty student.
Okay.
Okay, I graduated from college with a 2.74.
Oh.
So, like a little above a C.
Yeah.
And then I took the LSAT 3 times because I just I just wasn't studying. I was kind of a lazy student, but I finally got into law school a little bit later in life, And I kicked ass in law school. I got really good grades because I don't do things well if I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
And so I was 31. Michael was just a little boy. He was only a year old when I graduated, and then I opened my own office right out of law school. They say A students are the judges. No, A students are the judges. No, A students are the professors. The B students are the judges. And the C students are the millionaires.
That's facts, man.
That's true in life too.
Yeah, and the billionaires don't go to school at all. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So all right. So you started your practice pretty much 31 years old. And you've been now. How long have you had your practice open?
Well, that would tell you how old I am.
That's my
I
secret.
had 23 years. So
23 years.
I'm 55.
Okay.
So
okay.
almost
tell.
24 years. But here's the thing. So I started my own practice, but I didn't do cases alone. Because it's kind of like doing surgery blindfolded, as Jerry Spence once said. So I've always had a mentor, and I think that's critical for anybody, no matter what you're doing. You got to have a mentor, somebody that's been there, done that. You can go to them with problems, even life problems. I think one of your thrusts of your channel is positive male.
Self-improvement, yeah.
I was going to say enhancement, but
Yeah, that too.
no, but positive. Being positive, and that's one of the things that has guided me over the years. I've had a really good role model and a mentor to bounce ideas off of, to see, how do I handle this situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So you started your practice, you start getting it, and so when did you start like trying cases and taking cases and everything else like that? Immediately once you open your firm,
Yeah.
or did it take? Okay.
Yeah. And so what I would do is I'd get a case, and my very first trial, you won't even believe this, was a blind stalker.
A blind
Wait,
stalker.
what?
Yeah, it was a blind stalker. It was but in that case, the state's investigator turned out to be my witness because she gave me all this great stuff that the prosecutor didn't realize she was going to give me. When you have a case and you can turn their witness into your witness, you're going to win your case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you? Can you tell us about how you did that? Because like I'm looking at it
Because it was all about fear, because that was one of the elements. So I just tacked that one element of fear that was in this stalking case, and the victim had said, the accuser. Actually, we don't use the word victim; we use the word accuser.
Mm-hmm.
She had never said she was afraid, and in fact, she said she just was mad and all this other stuff. So I was able to get all these different facts out through that witness, and I wound up winning my case. My closing argument was, now I've seen everything. They're charging blind people with stalking.
I've seen
one.
everything. No, I like that one, man. I like that one. So, okay, I'll read some of these real quick. We got Lucifer Ratzinger with $20 with a bunch of demon faces. Thank you.
Okay.
Juice Now, $5. Shout out to Blicky Bruce and shout out to Kyle for beating the case. Okay. And then we got $5 from Colin Abney. How much does the law school that you attend matter?
I don't think it matters. I mean, it kind of matters where you wind up practicing in a sense, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I know guys that practice that graduate from Harvard. So what?
Yeah, still suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I've been playing golf for 20 years and I still suck.
So what kind of law do you specialize in? What practices do you
I do criminal defense.
Okay.
Almost
Your primary,
exclusively.
yeah.
I do mostly higher level felony cases. I do some misdemeanors once in a while. I do some DUI, hardly ever. They're just boring.
Yeah.
I always say there's nothing like a good homicide between friends.
There you go.
I mean, no two homicides are the same. You open it up and
Yeah.
it's an open book.
The facts are completely different from case to case. Which, don't worry, guys. We're going to speaking of homicide between friends, we're going to talk about the YNW Melly case as well. Don't worry, guys. We got a couple hip hop cases that we're going to break down here.
So Bruce, what got you into making YouTube videos? Because obviously you're a top lawyer, you're doing your thing, but YouTube's a whole different angle.
I have a son who is extremely bright, easily bored, and he just kind of we did one reaction, and I didn't really think much of it. And then about a year later, it had like 130,000 views, and he says, "Well, maybe we should do this on a regular basis." So we started doing it. I like Who I Smoke. We did that one. That's got like 1.3
1.3 million views.
Yeah,
That's the most popular video.
It's
you go.
insane.
Who I smoke, I see you.
Yeah. And so, and it's been really interesting because it's opened up. Like, look, we're here in fucking Miami.
Yeah,
Fresh
we're
and
chilling.
fit,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
Fresh and fit. I
Yeah.
mean,
No jumper as well.
we went to
Shouts out of 22. Yeah.
did no jumper. We were on the front page of World Star.
World Star.
Yeah.
World
Fire.
Star.
Yeah, because and then we Lad Bible. We were on there, and it's just fun. But we've also had I've gotten some cases out of it too. So
Wow.
but you know, and I get contacted all the time by a lot of people that have cases or have loved ones that have cases, and you know, no case is too big or too small. I'll talk some. If I can't help them, I'll try to find somebody that can help them, or sometimes I can just tell them what to do, and they can get out of the jam themselves. You know.
That's fire.
No, that's interesting, man. I mean, I guess because were you expecting this success to come this quick? Because you've only had your YouTube channel since what, February, pretty much?
yeah.
February of this year.
Right. Yeah, no, not at all. But here's the thing. My main thrust has always been service and helping people. When I used to drive an ambulance for my father, that's one thing I loved about that job. I loved it because every day you're helping somebody. You know, every day you're helping somebody that needs, you know, medical assistance or whatever. And then when that ended, I got a job as a sales guy for because my background was business. My undergrad is a business degree. And so I wound up getting a job as a sales guy for an environmental consulting firm. You know, I mean, just fucking boring. Right?
Yeah.
And then so that's when I decided I need to get back into that service mode. I love having a client sit next to me, and all of a sudden, you know, we do something positive, and they're super grateful. And so that's why that's one of the impetuses for my practice and my change. And we're doing the same thing with the channel. We've had 2 guys now in the last couple of weeks send me motivational things that they got into law school, and here's my acceptance letter, Bruce, and I'm getting a full ride. Here's my scholarship, and you have been an inspiration to me.
That's awesome.
So, it's you know, it just makes you feel good right here. You know.
Yeah.
But you know what makes you kind of, I want to say relatable is that you can kind of tap into like the music industry as well. And I'm not going to lie, when I hear a criminal lawyer like yourself talking about rap, I'm like, this is awesome. I want to hear some more.
Well, you know, what really interested me, and, you know, Michael does all the music. He picks everything out, and he does all the editing. But what really got me was how many of these guys get online and, you know, they love to be with the cash. Here's my fucking big wads of cash. Thank you, IRS. Or here are my guns. You know, oh wait, I'm not supposed to have guns. Felon in possession. Yeah. And here's the evidence.
You have a quote that says, "Stop self-snitching."
Right here, right here. This is what, and this is for you guys. Here you go.
Oh damn!
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the hats. Stop self-snitching, guys.
I do this all the time.
Which the links will be below as well if you guys want to get the merch.
This is hard.
So that you don't, you know, oh, these are high quality hats.
Pass one over,
This is nice.
Myron.
Yeah, pass one. It might not fit you with your big ass dome though,
Yeah,
bro.
you're probably right.
You're gonna have to go all the way to the end, but it's adjustable.
That your back is too big, brother.
So, and so that was the first thing that really got me, is how these guys, they have these beefs, and they actually talk about these homicides in their songs. And then they do. I've seen convictions where they get arrested and charged because of their Instagram posts.
Here we go, right here.
More
merch.
on your bus is leaving. There you
Stop
go.
self-snitching, guys.
Gotta love it.
So, so Bruce, before we get into the case breakdowns, what was your favorite case that you did since you've been an attorney? Or the most memorable that you could think of.
Well, I think I had this homicide. And
how long ago was this one?
Oh, this is quite a while ago. But my client was a very attractive 21-year-old woman.
Okay.
She went over to her
Your client.
Yeah.
Okay, the defendant.
Very
Okay.
attractive.
Yeah.
And she went over to her boyfriend's house, but she got a ride from her drug dealer boyfriend.
Oh.
And so she went in the house and was causing all kinds of trouble, and they kick her out of the house. and he throws her her boyfriend is, get the fuck out of here. She threw a beer bottle and stuff, just causing trouble, and so he threw her down, and then the drug dealer boyfriend is still waiting in the car. And then he comes up, sees that, and he and the other boyfriend now are starting to fight, and he shoots him.
No shit.
Was that from that night? No.
Yeah.
And kills him. Now the prosecutor had it, that he set it all up. So we try the case. Well, first of all, let me just tell you about jury selection, because this was just absolutely hilarious. So this guy, you go through jury selection, you get the questionnaires, and this guy who had a PhD in computer science was bitching about the order of the questions. He took 4 hours to fill out his questionnaire when it took everybody else about half hour,
What the hell?
And so we're questioning him, and the judge says, Mr. Fuchs, F-U-C-H-S, and he says, Fox. And she says, Fuchs, Fox, Fox, Fuchs. And they keep going back and forth. Now I am literally dying. I am just laughing my ass off. And so the whole case went like that. Everything was just more comical than the next. Get to the end of the case, and the judge throws the whole case out.
Wow.
So
So on what grounds did they throw it out?
judgment of acquittal. I mean, because she didn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So just side note here, very important point. She had 2 boyfriends.
Oh yeah. She's a horny girl. But
Okay.
But the other thing that happened in that trial is part of it was domestic abuse murder, right?
Yeah.
And they had to prove a pattern of domestic abuse. And so the officer that arrested her on a prior occasion had no fucking clue. I mean, he didn't remember her. He's just going to read it out for his police report. And so I'm sitting in the middle. She's sitting here. And my paralegal, who's also very attractive, so I'm right in between these 2 good-looking ladies. And I said, I just have one question for you. Do you recognize the person that you arrested that night? Well, I assume it's the person to your right. Wrong again.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's-
playing. That's my paralegal.
Oh man.
Stupid. Wow.
Who did that case? Was it the city, the state?
It was the state. It was the state
The state
case.
police did that case.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh okay. Interesting. Okay. So anything, Chris? Do we need to get on our side over here, or
Yeah, we got 2. 1 second.
okay? And guys, please do me a quick favor and like the video,
man.
And I'll tell y'all real quick while Chris pulls this up. The reason why. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, future plug. Can I get you guys insight about the excuse of a man, Zach Stacy? He beat his baby mother in front of his 5-month-year-old baby on camera.
Yeah, we saw.
We saw
the video.
that. That was not good, bro. He definitely gonna go to jail.
And
Have you seen that video?
I don't know
I
who
have
it is,
not.
Mark.
Ask him how he would defend you if you shot the guy who trespassed. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll do that one. And then $20 Freshman CEO supporter. Y'all heard the news. It has been scientifically proven, confirmed that no one works harder than Fresh and Fit. Bless up, fellas, and thank you for all the great content. Fresh, you already know. Got your back, brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
I still don't
man.
know who you
Appreciate
are,
it.
bro, but thank you.
Thank you, Freshman CEO
Support
supporter.
him, man. He supports you, man.
Scientifically proven.
There you go.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows.
I feel it.
So you guys are probably wondering, like, yo, how? Because I saw some people were saying, like, oh, this is an unexpected collab and everything else like that, guys. The reason why is because, so as you guys know, some of you guys know, we had to come clean about my past recently, like 2 months ago. I used to work in law enforcement, right? I used to work at the federal level. I was a former special agent for Homeland Security. I did criminal investigation. So when I saw Bruce breaking down these federal cases, I thought it was really like cool. You know what I'm saying? To see it from a defense attorney perspective, because technically me and you are technically supposed to be like enemies, right? Because
No.
we're on the prosecution side. You're
You
on the
guys
defense
feed
side.
my children. So if you don't arrest him, I can't defend him.
That's true. Because I'll tell you guys this. I've had a case go to trial before. I've testified many times. And it's, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It sucks when you're sitting in the chair. They swear you in, and then the defense attorney starts grilling you and everything else like that. I've been at suppression hearings, all different types of hearings. So to hear you break down cases, I was like, oh, this is awesome, because it's kind of, it brings back some fond memories for me from what I used to do.
You ever lose a suppression case?
No, I've never lost a suppression case.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, no, we never did. But we definitely had a few. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was a statement being made or evidence or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
And just so
those
they
are
know
stressful.
just so they know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
When
please.
when
I have no idea.
when somebody the cops seize evidence in some respect, like it's a drug seizure in a car, for example.
Yep.
And if they violate the law and you file a motion to suppress that evidence, and then you have a hearing on it, and the judge determines if they violate the law, then they can't use the evidence gets tossed. And so if your suppression motion is granted, the cop screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to hear that you never got.
Yeah, we never lost one.
Good.
But it was always nerve-wracking because I knew that if we lost that suppression hearing, the case was going to get, the AUSA will not take it. And I'm sure you know this, AUSAs are divas. You know what I'm saying? They're not like the state where they take every case that comes to them. They only take cases that are slam dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like federal prosecutors are very picky on what they take.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to take a case that they actually have to try and litigate.
Yeah, their numbers are in the 90s.
Yes.
96% or something like that.
Yeah, and that's why the feds always win, is because federal prosecutors are, and they're called AUSAs, Assistant United States Attorneys, versus like state is called Assistant District Attorney. So AUSAs are very picky on what cases they take because they have the luxury to say, well, I don't want to take this. It's not, this isn't solid enough, or it's not sexy enough. And with the feds, it's like a lot of the time they want to take cases that are slam dunk and also going to be potentially a good press release.
Headlines,
Yeah, I hate to say it like that, but
it is. It's
yeah,
true.
that's the truth. So I guess we'll talk first about. I guess we'll break down the Rittenhouse case real quick. So, and we broke it down a little bit. We spoke about it earlier. So, for those of the people that don't know about this case, you want to give them the facts real quick, because I know you know it like the back of your hand. I've been following it very closely as well. But
Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old kid, came to Kenosha. He actually was from Wisconsin, but I think he drove like 20 miles or something like that to get there. He's got his medical bag. He's got
Illinois. I thought it was from Illinois.
I don't know. He's not that far.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
He only drove 20 miles.
Yeah.
But he's got his AR-15 with him. First of all, if that was my son, I'd get back here, get the fuck.
Yeah,
out of
what
the
the
house.
hell are you doing, man? 17,
I mean,
like.
Michael was in Minneapolis going all over the place. He didn't have an AR-15. He had a camera.
Yeah.
In Minneapolis when we had all that stuff going on.
Yes.
And that made me nervous as hell.
Oh, how was that being there with the George Floyd protest?
I drew down on my fucking neighbor.
Oh, wow.
You know, I see somebody coming out of my backyard. We had two cars go down the street without license plates, and we learned later they totally ransacked a Walgreens and an Amoco gas station.
Damn.
Or BP gas station. And then he comes and I said, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I got my 9mm and I pointed right at him. He goes, "Hey man, it's me, man, it's me," because he was just chasing kids that were breaking into his garage, and that was like 2 a.m.
Wow.
But anyway, so Kyle did this. I think he was lying to everybody about, why that he has a medical, he's an EMT or whatever, a paramedic.
Oh, he wasn't really an EMT.
No,
Okay.
he's 17.
Yeah,
you can't even be one.
yeah.
But he's wanted to be part of the action.
Yeah.
And
And they were there because of a police shooting that happened in the area, if I'm not mistaken, right? A police officer had shot and killed someone.
Yeah.
And that's why there was riots going on. That's why he went there.
No,
they
didn't. They didn't kill him. The guy that the cops shot. Michael, what was his name? Jacob Blake.
There we go.
And they didn't know, they injured him pretty good though, and so it was the rioting based on that, and he, the dominoes start falling when he encounters that Rosenbaum character, and I love this when the prosecutor says to him, "Well, you weren't in Mr. Rosenbaum's head, were you?" "No." "So you have no idea what he was thinking, do you?" So this is, you never ask the fucking question if you don't know the answer, right? So what was the answer? Well, he said, "Fuck you, I'm going to kill you." So I guess I kind of know what's it. And then he starts chasing. Here's the other thing. Whoever closes the gap loses the argument. And that's what happened in each one of these successive events. That was in this less than 2 minutes. And so Rosenbaum starts chasing him. He goes to grab his gun and he shoots him.
Yep.
Pop, 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 pop.
Right by the gas station.
Yeah, 4 times.
Yep.
And then he's trying to get out of there, and people see him. First of all, if somebody's got an AR-15, would you go tackle them?
Hell no.
Yeah, that's a
Nope.
I'm going that way.
I noticed none of the people that were going after him were black.
Yeah.
Yo,
They knew. They like, I ain't doing
I'm
it.
black. I'm getting out of there.
Yeah, I ain't doing it,
That
bro.
way.
Yeah, I ain't going there. I ain't doing it. Yeah, I ain't doing it, bro.
Exactly.
I hear a noise. I'm going that way, my nigga.
Yeah.
That way, real fast.
Hell fucking
Exactly.
no. Yeah, no, that's
Exactly.
facts. That's facts.
Hell no, bro. You gotta be fucked up.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, for real.
Because they have more sense. They have more sense than I mean, hey, you know, guy with a skateboard. I got a skateboard. You got an AR-15. I think I got a chance. I don't think so.
We ain't stupid.
Yeah, bro.
And so stupid. And then so the rest. So that whole trial, you know, you had this Binger. He got the ire of the court, you know, over and over again, and he did some really stupid things, you know, talking about
The prosecutor, you're saying, right? Yeah.
talking about the defendant's silence. You have the right to remain silent. Your Fifth Amendment
big
right.
mistake.
And you know that could have gotten the case tossed. If you get a case tossed on a mistrial for prosecutorial misconduct, they can't prosecute you again. And this was a thing that the mob used to do way back in the day. They'd pay a prosecutor to do something like that. Then they'd appeal it, and then it would get tossed. But so the judge was infuriated.
As he should be.
Oh, but it happened again and again. I mean, it kept doing stuff that really he shouldn't have been doing. But the reason he was doing it is because his case was going downhill, and he felt it. And when that happened, and you looked at his lawyers, the lawyers just kind of, his lawyers were, you know, they were measured. They didn't, you know, interrupt the judge, and which this Binger did over. And well, I would like to make my record without being interrupted. Fucking judge, you can interrupt me as much as you want.
Yeah.
You know, you got the robe, and you know, and I may not like it, and I may not like the ruling, but I got to listen to you. And here's the thing: the more I listen to you, the more I know where you're coming from, so I can tailor whatever my arguments are.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to be able to. Yeah, it's the judge's courtroom, man. Like you gotta get in line. And the other thing too is like I was actually shocked when he like tried to like get at him for. Okay, so we got a lot of international viewers and some guys that might not know. When the police arrest you, right? They have to read you something called your Miranda rights, right? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you, blah, 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 right? Especially if it's a custodial interview. So, and a custodial interview means like you're pretty much not free to go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Under arrest.
You're under arrest essentially. And the thing is that he was trying to tell Rittenhouse like, hey, well, he tried to make it say like, hey, Rittenhouse didn't give a statement. He invoked his right, and that's an issue. What? Oh, he's telling me to look at the camera. My bad. And you can't do that. Like if someone invokes their right to silence, the Fifth Amendment, you can't really challenge that or make a note of that. So that was crazy to me. That's like pulling at straws.
That's
as
like
a prosecutor.
101. That's prosecutor 101. I mean, he knew better.
Yeah.
But you know,
State courts is a circus, man. We always, you know, not to make fun of, from the federal side, we always be like, yeah, state courts, like the state courts are a lot of the time like it's craziness in there.
I had
that house.
I had a judge describe the difference between the two as federal court is like a Swiss train station, and state court's like an Italian train station.
Yeah, no, it's
lot of
madness.
chaos.
Yeah, it's a lot of chaos, man. And they throw all kinds of arguments there, and because the thing you guys got to understand too, with the state, they pretty much take like any case. You know what I'm saying? From stupid petty larcenies all the way to capital punishment murders. And actually the state has like exclusive rights over murder. Like there's very few murder statutes federal. Like it typically has to affect some interstate commerce, or it's got to be done to some other degree. There's got to be typically something that affects interstate commerce for the feds to charge murder
or native lands too.
or yes Indian reservations is one of the other ways with the feds come in. But in general, man, the state has way more cases, so prosecutors are like stretched kind of thin, so they don't have a high success rate, and they kind of just throw anything because they don't have time to prepare for the case. And I'm kind of shocked because he should have known, like, this case was gonna get huge media coverage. So like for him to come in and not be prepared kind of made me like, what the hell? Like you're really attacking him for invoking his fifth? Like what?
Well,
like,
and then he asks some just stupid questions that, and he starts arguing, going down paths with all these different witnesses. And I just, because I watched quite a bit of it, I'd have it up on my desktop, as I'm working on something else, and I'm listening to it as I'm working, and I'm like, did he really just ask that question? And it's just like, completely ineffective. But I think he thought he was on national TV and he was going to be this gar, and he just fucking lost the biggest case he's ever had or ever gonna have.
Yeah.
You know, in front of millions and millions of people.
I'm surprised they even. And me and you talked about this prior. I'm surprised they even like went to try to prosecute him. You know, like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is a clear cut self defense. But you know,
I can see them prosecuting this case, and I could even see a jury saying that the amount of force that he used was excessive. I could see that. But it was a case of self-defense, and like I said, you know, he's got to prove it wasn't self-defense. So your prosecutors in that kind of case is starting in a hole.
Yes, and that's true. Like they because not only do they have to prove the case, but now they also have to prove that he wasn't acting in self-defense. Like you said, you're presumed innocent, and you're presumed that you actually did act in self-defense. So it's on the prosecution. The burden of performance is on them.
Right.
So, and then the other thing too, like. And another thing too, which was like surprising to me, how you know, they kind of came at him, was like the guy. So like one guy. So first, what's his last name? It was Joe Rosenbaum. What was it?
Yeah.
The first guy. So he kills him at the gas station, right? Or at there was like a parking lot. I think it was a gas station. And then he's running, and people are chasing after him. One guy jumps and kicks him. He shoots at him, misses. Then another guy with a skateboard comes and hits him like on the head. And then he shoots him, kills him.
Yeah.
And then the other guy comes close and then closes the gap again with a gun in his hand, and he shoots him. And it's like, what do you expect?
He does this at first.
Yep. He puts his hand up
and
first.
When he puts his then Rittenhouse puts the gun down.
Yeah.
And you can see this happen.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he points the gun at his head and he pop.
Yep.
You know, well, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
You know, and here's the thing: I don't have a dog in the fight. You know, I am not a super, you know, Second Amendment, you know, blah blah blah. I think every baby should have a gun. You know? I mean, I'm not one of those guys. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I have guns, and I think everybody should have a right to a gun, but I think it should be, you know, managed like a car. You know, we have license for cars. Don't we?
It's a tool.
It's a dangerous tool, and in the wrong hands, it can be super dangerous. But you know, everybody has their opinions on that and whatever, and so I don't look at it like that, and it was just really unfortunate. But I think legally speaking, it was the right result.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, you know, I'm glad that, you know, they found him not guilty, because, you know, it's scary, man, when someone isn't able to effectively defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he got found guilty, I think it would have been a travesty for the court system, legal system in general, because that's going to set terrible precedent for the future. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, if someone comes at you with a gun, can you shoot them? Or are you going to be scared to do it? And the other thing too that people need to understand is that it's never 20/20 hindsight, guys. You got to go off of the facts that he knew at the time. You know, did he know that this guy that was trying to come at him was a medic? No, he didn't know that. You know, he didn't know that this guy that hit him with a skateboard was an activist. Like, none of that was known at the time. All he knew was he was running. There was a mob after him. He can hear them saying, "Get him!" You know, what would a reasonable person do given that situation? And honestly, a reasonable person would have acted in the way that he did. And from to act that way at 17 years old, and he had some crazy trigger discipline, because he didn't shoot until like it was very obvious that there was some imminent peril coming his way. Yeah. So there's people that would have been shot that would have shot with less. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
so
he could be playing Call of Duty in real life and just doing this.
Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, I was surprised that the jury took as long as they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because usually a long deliberation means that they're fighting about something.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. Someone videotaped them coming out. Someone caught them on video. They didn't properly like sequester them from the area. So that was another thing too. I think some of them might have had some, you know, obviously that's a safety issue when you know who the jurors are.
Yeah.
So I know that was another issue as well. And the judge was kind of like, oh well, we'll just delete the footage, just whatever. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh god, you know what I'm saying? And this is why, honestly, it's good that federal cases you can't tape inside of a federal courtroom.
No.
With the state you can. That's why I don't know if you guys noticed when you look at like the federal cases and they like try to, you know, on the news, they always use drawings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of, in the federal courthouse. And the reason why is because you can't tape in a federal courthouse, but in the state you can, which, you know, always leads to these crazy cases like O.J. Simpson was taped. Remember, they documented that one on live. The Rittenhouse case. I'm trying to think of other ones that were big state cases that were taped.
Well, the Chauvin case.
Yeah, the shot. Yep, the shot. Yep.
And now this
Yep.
this Kimberly Potter case. I don't know if you know about that one.
No, what's that one?
That
What
was
are the facts on that
that's one that happened in Minnesota. That was a pretty decent sized case too. That's going to trial, I think, next week. Kimberly Potter was an officer who she was pulling a guy over on a stolen vehicle, and he had a warrant out for his arrest for, I think, a probation violation or something. And he takes off, and then
Those are the worst warrants.
and
Automatic jail.
well, and what she's going to do is she goes to grab her taser. She says, taser, taser, taser. And she doesn't grab her taser.
no.
She grabs her firearm and she shoots him and kills him.
Yeah. Damn.
She'll be acquitted. That's just a mistake because she's charged with manslaughter in the second degree.
Yeah.
And that you have to have an appreciation and disregard the risk. You know, and it's just a mistake. She did not know she had her taser or had her firearm. She thought she had her taser. She should never be a cop again, for damn sure. But and she was a trainer too.
He didn't. She was an a field training officer. Did she? So they charged her what? Manslaughter.
Manslaughter in the second degree.
So-
Culpable negligence.
So he died.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, and that was what was that guy's name, Michael? Do you remember?
That was Dante Wright.
Dante Wright. Yeah. And but I mean, he shouldn't have taken off. But it's such an unfortunate set of facts, you know. I mean, it wasn't like they just stopped somebody who didn't have a reason to stop them. You know what I mean? But at the same time, come on. I mean, you're 26 years on the force and you pull your fucking firearm.
Oh God.
I mean, tell me she's not beating herself up over this.
Yeah, she's definitely either gonna retire or
She's not a cop anymore.
She's okay. So did she resign or
Yeah,
did they?
and my buddy is or not buddy, but a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, is handling that case.
Okay, yeah. She
And he
probably-
also has one of the officers in the Chauvin trial.
Oh wow.
And they all got charged federally now.
I was
too.
gonna say and they recently got they got hit with because Chauvin obviously got found guilty on that and he's gonna go to. Did they sentence him yet?
Yes, he got 250 months, I think, is what he got.
Oh
Damn.
shit.
Yeah.
For some of you guys that don't know, Derek Chauvin was a police officer that that had his knee on George Floyd's neck,
Yeah.
which led to him dying, and then the Minneapolis riots, where they went crazy over there. And I'm glad that you're good. So he got obviously the state came in, took the case. I think it was a state. It was probably
They burned down the 3rd precinct in Minneapolis. Burned the fucking
Police
cop
station
shop
down.
to the ground. Yeah.
wow. And then who came in and took that case? It was the Minnesota.
So it was the AG, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, and then they hired, they brought in 2 former AUSA, Steve Slisher, and then Jerry Blackwell, a civil lawyer. Really, both excellent lawyers.
The
Excellent.
state brought them in to prosecute it.
Yeah.
And they weren't, and they're not state prosecutors.
No.
They're federal prosecutors. They brought them in.
Well, Steve Slisher had retired from the AUSA, or from the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yeah.
So he was at a private law firm doing products liability work, and Jerry Blackwell is a civil lawyer, really, really good civil lawyer. So they, deputize them or whatever they do, and just brought them in from private practice to try that case.
I didn't know that the state could do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, they had a hard on for him then. If they're doing that, they're like, yeah,
They
dude,
got
that-
talent. They got talent.
Like so the state went in and recruited some outside forces. So they got him, and then and they obviously tried to throw the book at Chauvin there, and then the guys the officers that were with him, I think it was 3 or 4 of them, right, that were
Yeah,
there
3 other
watching it.
guys.
They got indicted federally.
Yeah.
If I'm
They
not
all
mistaken.
got. So did Chauvin.
Chauvin got
They
indicted
all
federally
got
too.
indicted federally. Yeah, for civil rights violations.
Damn.
So because they can't get him on the double jeopardy because technically civil rights
Different
violation is not murder. It's another charge.
Well, it's a different sovereign.
Yep.
So you've got you have to. But in order to do that, the DOJ has got to get. I can't remember what the kind of letter it is, but they have to get special dispensation from DC to do that.
Yes, to do violation of rights. Yes. Yeah. Oh, so that was probably the FBI that did it then, because they do that that charge. So Damn. Yeah, and they got indicted recently. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, if you get indicted,
But you've got one guy, same guy that's got Potter has, I can't remember the name of the guy, but you got one guy who says, should we turn him over? And he's like 4 days on the job. 4 days on the job. And he's just sitting there and he's like, should we turn him over? And then you got another guy who's the Asian cop, and his back is to them the whole time. You know, and he's keeping,
he's keeping them. I remember him. He was keeping them away.
I mean, he doesn't really know what's going on back there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
How it plays out.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough because you get indicted federally. That's not a good thing.
It's going on for a long time.
Yeah.
But recently, what happened with Young Dolph? I mean, that was kind of tragic too as well. What are your thoughts on that? And actually, you did a video on that as well that came up on YouTube. Pretty good video.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Rest in peace, Dolph.
Yeah, R.I.P. Here's what I like about his story. He starts out, with basically being raised by his grandmother, a very strict person
in the 80s.
Yeah, because his parents, are addicts and they're smoking crack and basically can't parent him, and so he winds up getting in the streets, gets into music. Music kind of pulls him out of the streets, and the last few years he's done turkey giveaways.
Yes,
he's given $25,000 to his alma mater, for their athletic program,
high school.
High school.
Yep.
He's given motivational speeches. He's spending time with his children.
He had a turkey rally planned for when he was in Memphis, but right before he passed. I mean, the guy was, whether people want to, whatever they want to say, the man did come back and give back to his community on several occasions.
Yeah, your heart breaks. I mean, and it's a senseless fucking violence.
Yeah. He didn't make any diss tracks recently or anything like that. I think... I mean, my take on it is what probably happened is they found out that he was in town, and he does have a lot of haters. He has some people, some other artists in the city, and they found out where he was at, and they just took the opportunity to
he was buying
try
cookies for his mother.
But
buying cookies for
let's
his mom.
not forget though, there's the multiple attempts on his life.
Yeah,
yes.
L.A.
in 2017, right?
Yeah, but why is that? There's a beef going on with him and Gotti.
Yes,
so who knows
Yeah.
what could have been that? You know what? He's gonna show up this way. Because think about it, how they pulled into the actual parking lot of the cookie shop, they knew what they were doing. They waited, came in, did their job, and then dipped. Definitely was a hit.
But
yeah, they were there.
But you watch, the law enforcement tools are everywhere. There's cameras everywhere.
They got him.
So they got him on camera, so you can see what they were wearing and what they were driving, and. You go down this block, this block, this block. I guarantee there's cameras fucking everywhere nowadays, and they'll find out who these guys are.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised right now if they don't have them already identified. And if they probably have them identified at this point, and they're probably just either going to get a grand jury together to indict, or they're just going to do a criminal complaint and get arrest warrants.
Did they get him?
I'm pretty sure they did get him.
I saw an Instagram post with the
okay, there you go.
Pictures of the three guys. But actually, Chris, could you pull up his video real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I'm not gonna lie, this part was hilarious. In your video, when you read Young Dolph's verses, that was amazing, bro.
All right, so we're pulling it up right here, guys. Give us 1 second. So, and guys, Bruce has a YouTube channel. It's check him out. I tagged it on the top. Make sure to subscribe to his channel.
So go support him. Yeah, you can play the intro because this is pretty dope too.
Yeah,
It's already hilarious.
yeah.
That's First Avenue, which is a very famous bar in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
We did our first show.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
Yeah.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
Okay.
And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
All right, skip it a little bit, Chris. Like
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers.
1 minute in.
That's here in Miami.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That's that building in the background
Looks like the Ivy or something like that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that here in a minute. But he passed away on Wednesday of this past week in a shootout. Now, he grew up on the streets.
Bring it a little
bit. Been rapping
little
for
bit
quite a
further
while.
ahead, Chris.
And he was he's got some really
More.
very distinguishable car. You can see it
More.
here in this photo. This
Yeah,
is
there.
a surveillance photo, but he made it through. And he in a couple. and I want you to look at this.
Okay.
And I'll just let it play, and then I'll come back on the other side and we'll talk about it.
Go back a little bit. I
But
think
you look at
which part do you do
first of all, you look at this gal
verses? I
compared
think it was
to
maybe 2 minutes. Is that Chris? Because I want to bring it up real quick.
Right here?
Yeah.
On top
that's the picture. That's the picture of the guys.
Of the guys, yeah.
You can see one guy's got a Draco and the other guy's got a handgun.
But apparently there were 3 guys. Apparently.
Oh, were there?
Yeah.
Right, getaway driver.
Draco.
Yeah.
And the other guy's got a handgun. And they opened fire on him and gunned him down. Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. In 2017, he was shot in L.A. and almost left for dead, but he made it through. And he, in a couple of interviews, he said he's been targeted over and over again. You know, the streets tend to follow you, especially if you're this higher profile individual. And, you know, whether it's jealousy, whether it's, you know, an old score or what, they don't have any suspects that they've really talked about quite yet. Here, we're going to play a little bit of the press conference. And I want you to look at this, and I'll just let it play, and then I'll come back on the other side and we'll talk about it. But you look first of all, you look at this gal compared to Sheriff Grady and how undignified. So, do you know who Sheriff Grady is?
Is that the sheriff of that county or
over Tampa?
Oh, over Tampa. Okay.
He does his own. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he's just a dick. And the reason why I did a reaction to him. He puts on, he sees this stuff and he puts it on, and he does his own rap, and it's so demeaning and so unprofessional and so undignified. And this law enforcement spokesperson, whoever it was, she was tip top. She was right on the. It was a juxtaposition because that Sheriff Grady is just an asshole. Yeah,
no, I mean the thing is, people don't understand about like sheriffs. I mean, at least in Texas and Florida, from what I've realized from being in Texas and here, like the sheriffs really, you can't do nothing to them. Like it's like they're like the chief. They're considered like the chief law enforcement person in the county. So it's like they kind of could do whatever they want. And then in Florida, do they vote them in or?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
They're elected.
Yeah, they're elected. So yeah, I mean, while they're in, you know, during their term, you really can't do much to them, and they kind of just run the show, man. So
damn.
Yeah, sheriff, and they could fire you without cause too. If you're a sheriff's deputy. Like they could just fire you without cause. You don't get like the same protections like a regular police department. Okay.
All right. So I moved it according to what Michael told me. So
okay.
Never trust a bitch.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go back a little bit more just so they can see it.
Okay, he's reciting his lyrics.
This is so funny. This is hilarious.
2014, and this is kind of the mentality of somebody who's growing up on the streets. Never trust a bitch. Never trust a fella. Fuck bitches. Get the Skrilla. Don't trust these motherfucking fellas. Never trust a bitch. Fella, get Skrilla. In other words, don't trust anybody. It's all about the money. And just let me read a couple more lyrics because I do find this kind of interesting. I don't fuck with these fellas because they shady. These bitches, they just want to have my baby. Now, for you guys out there, there's some truth to that, because if all of a sudden you have some means, guess what? They'll be on the annuity plan if you get somebody pregnant, and all of a sudden now you owe this child support. So you really need to be careful where you deposit your sperm.
Stop it there.
That aside.
Spitting bars, man. Shout out to Bruce.
Those fuckers can be expensive if they land in the wrong spot.
It's true. It's like all the time.
I mean, they're not bad if they land in back of somebody's throat.
Oh, Lord. That's true.
Damn, son. Where'd you find this?
Oh, man. That was hilarious, man.
That's awesome.
Well, and here's the thing. I get so many comments saying that I should get the N-word pass, blah, blah, blah. I don't use the N-word. And so I use fella instead. You know, because I'm not gonna quote, the song
verbatim.
Because they use it throughout, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the word "the" sometimes. And so I mean, I don't need the pass.
Yeah.
I'd rather be invited to the cookout than have the pass.
There you go. Smart.
I
That's
love
good
it,
marketing.
man. So.
Yeah, but
Okay, great guys. Hey, shout out to you, Rolo.
Yep.
And guys, so you're wondering, Rolo will be here in early December. We're gonna have a great panel show with him and some of the other people. Stay tuned. So going back to the Dolph case. So did they find him or did they not? Did they find Mike? You saying
I'm not sure if it was because of the memorial shoot up or if the actual shooting of him. I don't know if this I don't know what it's for, but they caught 3 people. I don't know if it's for the shooting for him or it's for the memorial shooting. I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
Because there was another shooting
at a memorial
somewhere.
Yeah. Like 6 people got killed that day. So and there was a bunch of retaliations, and they actually had to put police on Yo Gotti's mother's businesses as well.
Yeah, restaurant and then Black Youngsters stuff too. So
yeah,
because I'm telling you, there's a big beef in Memphis, man, between Yo Gotti and Dolph, because I think Dolph didn't want to sign to Yo Gotti, and there's some resentment there. But it's been brewing for a minute, and yeah, man. I mean, honestly speaking, like what Bootsy said, if you're in your hood and you made it, while you're there, you should get out. I don't know, but maybe he had to.
Well, you become a target.
Yeah,
target. I mean, he went back and he was doing
family
doing giveaways, and it sucks because he was literally there to do a turkey giveaway. He had just purchused a bunch of turkeys to give away.
200?
Yeah, 200. Yeah. So
you know, it's just sad. It's just sad. But you know, you talked about me repeating the lyrics. There were a couple other times where I just busted up. One was, what was that song, Michael? Where we were talking about dumb brain.
Oh, that was Young Pappy.
Young Pap, and he's she's what was the line?
She give me dumb brain like she ain't never had no education.
I couldn't stop laughing. And then I knew we were onto something when I saw TikTok, and this woman was mouthing my words. You know how they make that TikToks, and the line in the song was, "Close your legs, bitch, because all I want is top." Now, what he's really saying, and I decode the lyrics. What he's really saying, and he's not interested in intercourse. He'd rather have oral sex.
Fantastic translations of the Ebonics.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
From Mr.
This is brilliant. The chat is loving it.
Yeah. So okay. So me and you were talking earlier, Bruce, about that there seems to be a lot of cases in hip hop right now that are guys getting hit with RICOs all over the place. This year alone, we've seen a bunch of artists get indicted. Obviously we saw 6ix9ine, get hit back in 2019. Yeah,
sorry, did I say that?
With the RICO case with him and the 9 Trey Bloods. Right. Then O-Block had just had an indictment recently off after the FBG Duck murder.
Actually, I think they got Breezy too.
Was that
600 Breezy?
What do you mean?
I think he's going to jail, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're
really?
I think I posted it.
They're just getting started.
Yeah.
It is, like years ago, it was mortgage fraud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody was getting charged with mortgage fraud because there was a shit ton of it.
Yeah.
When they were giving all that money away. Right now, it's these RICO indictments on the rap community, and it is
Casanova. Another one. They got him in late last year.
But you know who they want? They want Lil Durk, bro.
Yeah.
They want Lil Durk bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were discussing that earlier, man. If that's true that they got Breezy, bro. I hope he turns out okay.
And text him, but
damn, bro.
And
I
they're
hope
patient
he's okay.
as hell. You know something about federal agents and the federal prosecution. They're patient as hell.
That's true. I
had a client once that, I represented him on a DWI. He was a good friend of mine. So and in order to pay me, he went and did some collection for the cartel. Dude, you don't commit a felony to avoid a fucking misdemeanor. You just don't do it.
I saw this video, yeah.
Yeah, and so they indicted 27 people on a meth case, and 4.5 years later.
Who did the case? Was it DEA? DEA did
DEA
it? Okay.
task force,
Yeah, as usual.
And so 4.5 years later, my client has 2 kids. He started a business, totally different guy than he was, and he was sober. And he was looking at a hard 5. And the judge looked at me and looked at the prosecutor. Are you going to appeal me if I if I do this? And he gave him 9 months home monitoring. You know, as opposed to sending him away for 78 to 108 or whatever the heck the guidelines were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, meth is tough, man. Like meth is very high sending guidelines, especially if it's over a certain percentage. I did a meth case when I was on the job. So,
but my
Knows
point
pretty
is
well,
is
yeah.
that the feds are super patient.
for sure.
And just when you think you're out of the woods, they bring you right back in.
Yeah.
I remember I did an interview with Bobby Schmurda, and he was saying like, "Yeah, I left the hood, so I'm all good." They're like, "Nope, and you leave the hood, just waiting to get you.
Yeah.
They're still waiting."
And here's the thing: Bobby Shmurda's case was a state case.
Mm,
That wasn't even a federal case. They got him. That was a state case.
damn.
And he
So-
did his time.
And he did his time, and he got out. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't talk and everything like that. Because I'll tell you this: if they had got him on a Fed case for those same charges, he would have done a lot more time. Because you don't get with the feds, you don't get out on good behavior or none of that.
15% off.
Yeah, at the most, you're gonna do at least 85% of your time. You know what I'm saying? At least at the absolute, like, you know, bare minimum, 85%. And you don't get concubines, not concubines. What is it? What is it when you can have your girl come in?
Conjugal visits.
Yeah, conjugal visits. You can't do that.
You do get the opportunity to pick up whatever soap is in the shower.
Damn. Bro, I don't ever want to go to jail, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, no.
What
Real
do they
talk,
say?
though, I hope
Give it up.
Breezy's okay.
Give it up or fight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That is a line.
Yeah, that is true, man. So
be fighting.
yeah, with the feds, it's good behavior, and then what's the other one? You can get out on when you get out early when they run out of. I'm trying to think. When you get out of jail early, not on good behavior. There's
Chat knows. I'm sure.
it's
Well, they have the RDAP program, so
Mm-hmm.
you go into drug rehab and you can get a year off your
parole.
sentence.
Sorry, out on parole. I'm sorry. Yeah, you
Well,
don't get parole in the
yeah,
feds.
they don't know. They have supervised release.
Yes, you got after you do your sentence, you get the supervised release, which that sucks too because
you're on
you can go
probation.
back in. Yeah, you're basically on and it's guaranteed almost every time you get convicted of a federal felony. It's almost guaranteed 5-year supervised release.
Yep.
Almost always. So,
yeah, that's true.
but with the federal indictment. So, what's your take on all this, Bruce? As far as like them going after rappers, like I mean, we've seen so many different rappers go down on RICO cases.
Well, you've got two things. Like if you look at Jacksonville, for example,
Yep.
where you've got Fulio and Young and Ace, that whole beef.
Yep.
There are. I read that there are 50 unsolved homicides
Damn.
related to that whole scene. And when the feds charge something out, like in the RICO area, it's a lot easier to prove.
We should probably tell the people what RICO is, because they might not know. Could we break? You want to tell them what RICO racketeering is?
Yeah, RICO is a statute that was actually created in the 30s to combat organized crime. Something Corrupt Organizations Act.
Yeah, it was used for the mafia
Yeah.
originally because they
Yeah.
couldn't get them to fold.
And so it's basically charging them with having an organization and committing crimes in support of that organization and affecting interstate commerce. And so they've wrapped up murder and drug dealing in these things. And so like the most recent one, the O Block one, they've charged 5 guys and it's really a simple indictment. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that
I
long.
read the indictment too. It's very short.
It's not that long. And you guess what? It ain't going to be that hard to prove.
Yeah.
And so
An indictment, guys, is a formal charge. Like a grand jury gets together, you know, the agent comes in, he testifies, oh, these are the facts, blah, blah, blah. The prosecutor asks him questions, he gives his facts, and then the grand jury deliberates, hey, are we going to pass a true bill, which will get him indicted or not? So it's just a formal way of charging someone, which in the feds, typically you have to get someone indicted for you to arrest them. Like, it's very difficult to make, like, a regular probable cause arrest, like, on the scene. Like, state and locals only do that, but federal almost always is going to be an indictment. Or unless like the guy like commits a crime right there and then and you got him in custody, like let's say someone else apprehends him and then you come in showing up as an investigator, show up on the scene, then you could do something called a criminal complaint, which is you write you write an affidavit, get it signed by the judge, whatever. But that doesn't happen as often as
But even
indictments.
they have 30 days after that criminal complaint is filed.
you still have to do
To
an
indict
indictment.
him.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So it's just how you want to do it, but yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But
30 days,
so Nate, so you got these O Block indictments.
Mm-hmm.
You've got I guarantee you something's going to come out of this Jacksonville federally.
I agree.
I
agree.
I can't imagine they're going to let and they're just going and they're in city after city after city after city.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the soup soup du jour.
What I think, so typically what'll happen is, and I you know, from like my experience, whatever, like if there's like a lot of violence in an area, you know, there'll be like a meeting between the state and locals and, you know, the feds. And then a lot of major cities have something called an FBI Safe Streets Task Force, right?
Yep.
And this is all public information, by the way, guys. I'm not giving you nothing that you don't already know. And, you know, and then if it's a really big city like a New York City or whatever, you know, they got drug task forces, they got organized crime task forces, they have, you know, all different types of groups. And when there's a lot of violence, you know, someone will probably want to pick up the case. And a lot of the time what they'll do is they'll want to bring in the feds because you get a lot of resources. You know, you get a stronger court system, you know what I'm saying, where the defendants are going to do far more time, and you have a higher likelihood of winning. But the caveat to that is you got to make the case sexy for the federal prosecutors to want it, and then you get the resources, right? So anytime there's like a lot of violence and there's a lot of crime, they'll just get together, state and locals and the feds, and they'll just work together because with the state, they're able to kind of use laws and do things that the feds can't necessarily do. You know, you can go ahead and pick up a guy on a small drug charge, flip him, turn him into an informant or whatever, or a cooperator, and then bang, now you have someone that's involved in the organization that can help you build a case. And then that's, people want to know, how do you build an investigation with the, you know, with like listening to phone lines, all this other stuff. 9 out of 10 times there's an informant or someone in that gets you, you know, access to these guys, then you introduce it undercover, whatever it is. You know, so many different ways that you could do it. And then you're able to build a case, you know, identify the organization, figure out what the hierarchy is, figure out who your principal target is going to be, and then bam, build it from there. And that is the beauty of when feds and state work together, is you're able to leverage different resources. You know, the state and locals could do things, make traffic stops, identify people. They're in the streets. They know who these guys are. And then the feds are able to give you access to, you know, the federal prosecutors and the federal court system and the resources. You know, with the feds, they don't have as much of a case backlog as like the state and locals do. Mm-hmm. So it you know, that's what happens. So I agree with you 100% that I would not be surprised if there is some kind of task force right now in Jacksonville that's working together with the state and locals. Because I know for a fact that there's a team at the Jacksonville Police Department, which they've said, someone mentioned this, I forget, on YouTube, that they have a team that just looks at their Instagrams and shit like that, going back and forth with the altercations, and they document everything. So it's like, yeah, you got it, guys. Got to stop self-snitching. This
social
process,
media, man.
You know,
yeah, ridiculous, right? I mean, who was an NBA young boy? They were filming, you know, that a video, and you know they've charged him with possession of a pistol, you know, and then he runs from the cops, you know. With another pistol in his fucking hand.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe the judge reversed her ruling and let him out.
Yeah, it's
that's a blessing.
Yeah, because what happened with the NBA YoungBoy thing was interesting because they got him for felon in possession because he was at a music video, right? If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce, on the facts.
No, you're 100%.
He was at a music video. He and there were guns on set.
Yeah.
Someone calls the cops. Cops show up. There's guns all over the place. NBA and them run, but they left the SD card of them filming the music video. And in the video, you can see him holding a gun. And for you guys, some of you guys that don't know, many states have this statute as well. You can't be a felon and have a firearm. And federally, you can't have there's a charge, it's 18 U.S.C. 922. I know it very back of my hand because I used to charge it all the time. You can't have a gun as a convicted felon in the United States federally, right? And they found the thing, and then they indicted him federally, and then he was in California. So they got the arrest warrant, they go get him, and then he ran. And then they found another gun in the car, and then they didn't want to give him bond after he got arrested. And California, they wanted to give it to him.
California let him out.
Give it to him, yeah.
But the judge in
Louisiana had a hard-on for him.
Yeah, so no, I don't think so. And so, but then they put together a plan, you know, okay, well, this is how we think we can...
Those stipulations are crazy, right?
Yeah, well, and...
House arrest.
Yeah. And then curfew, and you can only have 2 people there at a time, and you know, let's just hope he doesn't do anything stupid.
Hey, man, that label, they want him out.
Yeah,
he's a cash cow, so they're gonna do whatever they need to do to get him out.
Yeah, they want to produce it.
Because I think they're gonna build a studio in his house, right?
Like a $1 million or $2 million studio in his house. Like
he's the golden boy. You gotta make some music.
Yeah, they gotta, you know. And I think he was one of the few. Him and like Lil Wayne, and I think maybe there was one other artist. Was it Tupac? like are the only ones to like have a record
Yes.
go #1 or go hit Billboard while they're in jail.
In jail.
So, because Wayne, I think it was when he got hit with a gun charge in New York, which that's a whole other thing. Having a gun in New York is a big mistake.
But as you see with rappers, you gotta stay strapped, man, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's so important to have security. Let them have the
Yeah.
guns. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Because there's been times where rappers got caught with guns, but they were able to say, "Hey, it's my security. They ain't my guns."
Right. I mean, they got the money.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the money, you should not, and if you have a record, you should not be having anything on you. Have a detail.
So let's talk about this O-Block indictment real quick. So, so we talked about Jacksonville. You know, our predictions there. I agree with you. I think there's 100% a federal case is going to come out of there.
Yeah.
Because there haven't been arrests. They've probably identified who some of these shooters are. Whatever. They probably have an informant or something. Maybe even listening to phones. On the O-Block side, what's your take on that? What's your prediction?
Hang on, look at that one.
The Black Blur. When Bruce going golfing with Ace.
Oh crap! That'd be pretty funny though.
That music video was very creative, man. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. Both of them are talented artists. I like both, man.
When I did that video of Who I Smoke, I had not seen it before, and I didn't really know the story behind it because we try to do things kind of fresh, you know, and sometimes fit. And so I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, I can relate to these guys. This is on a golf course. It looks beautiful, and I got beautiful music. And I'm gonna push your shit back, boy. You know, I'm like, holy
when I see you,
fuck.
I'm gonna push your shit back, boy.
Yeah. and then I get the what the backstory is on them, and I'm like, okay, wait a second, maybe these guys aren't fraternity brothers. You know?
They ain't playing, bro.
No, they're not playing.
Yeah, guys. For any of you guys that after you watch this interview, go ahead and search "Young and Ace" and then "Who I Smoke." Probably the most disrespectful diss song. That and then Fulio's "When I See You" was also extremely disrespectful. So what's your take on this O-Block situation?
Well, I think you nailed it on the head because I think they're not just after because wasn't there an attempted murder on Duck?
I think potentially prior there
I
might
think
have been
that's part of the indictment.
Okay.
And so I think they're after him. I think they're after those guys, and I think they're trying to do a wide sweep. You know, and I think it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I think so as well. I would not be surprised because here's the thing. The FBI did the case. I think it's always very important, guys. If you guys want to know, I'll give you guys a little pro tip right now. If you want to know who did the case, always read the DOJ press release. The first person that speaks that's a part of an agency is the person that did the case. Chris, can you do me a favor? Type in O-Block and then US DOJ. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. What I mean by this. Yeah. And then you'll see who investigated the case.
He knows. He knows.
And the reason why this is significant, I want you guys to know this, is because different agencies have different goals. I'll tell y'all this right now. I'll just say it. The FBI are clout chasers. That's what they are. You know, they're not going to come in and do a case unless it's going to get them some kind of big press release, unless it's going to be sexy or whatever. So I'm not surprised that they took this because when rest in peace to FBG Duck. You know, I like both camps. I like the FBG side, and I like obviously the BD side with Dirk and all them. I listen to both parties' music. But Duck was killed in an area that a very nice area in Chicago, which is like the 5th Avenue of Chicago.
You said
broad daylight.
USD.
Yeah, if you type in USDOJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, USDOJ, and then type in O-Block, and then it's going to be the one that's going to be the DOJ.gov link. And I'm going to show you guys how to identify the main agency that did the case. So, so when they gunned him down, I knew, and I saw that the FBI did the case. I was like, yeah, they're going after the probably Dirk here. And Vaughn would have definitely been someone that they would have been going after as well.
Yeah.
Because Vaughn,
he was waiting trial, wasn't he? When he was killed?
Yeah. Him and Dirk both have a shooting case out of, I think, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where they had a scuffle with someone that was a GD or something like that, and they shot at him or whatever. And I think Dirk got off because they were able to establish that they didn't have video footage. But I think they still potentially had Vaughn on the hook. But Vaughn passed. And R.I.P. to him because I like King Von as well.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if the Bureau isn't going after Dirk on this. You know, the file title, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Dirk at all.
They want Dirk
on this O-Block case.
And some of y'all want to be rappers here in the chat, man. The rap life, bro, in the streets.
Did you find it, Chris?
I don't think you want that, bro.
No? Chris?
Trying to find it right now.
I'm gonna know.
Okay, it's pulling it up right now. So yeah, I think their main angle. So what I think is this: they probably brought these guys in, right? And none of them have bond, by the way, just so y'all know. Yep, there you go, bang. So okay, guys. So this is what this you always go to the Department of Justice site when you see an arrest, right, like this, because this is the official federal prosecutor's website. So this is for the Northern District of Illinois, which is where Chicago sits. And if you scroll down to the bottom here, Chris, scroll up a little bit. See, and they attach the indictment as well, which is the formal charge. So it goes, this indictment was announced by John R. Lausch Jr., United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois. And then see that it's a fourth paragraph from the bottom, Chris. See where it says this indictment was announced by? Okay, bang. See where it goes? It goes in the District of keep it highlighted. Keep it highlighted. Yep. It goes, Special Agent in charge of the Chicago Field Office, FBI. So the first agency that comes across that on this indictment paragraph, of this announcement paragraph, is always the primary agency that did the investigation. And then everybody else is going to be listed under. So there's always a lead agency in every case. So as soon as I saw that the FBI was doing it, I already know it's probably going to be a Safe Streets Task Force that did it. They're trying to probably do, it's obviously a RICO case. So they are going after everyone probably in the Chicago area that's affiliated with O Block and the BDs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bring these guys in and said, okay, so who paid y'all to do this? We know this was a paid hit. You guys went and did this shit on broad daylight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Was it Dirk? Was it Vaughn? Blah, blah, blah. And the other thing, too, Vaughn went to O Block with like $100,000 right after Doug got killed. You know what I'm saying? And he was passing out money. Now, some people are saying, oh, well, he did it, it was just him donating money back. But the feds are going to be able to paint it in a light. No, this was for the hit on this dude.
Like you guys mentioned, the moment you involve money in the streets, it's like, okay, no, it's federal, right?
It can be. Yeah, you can. Yeah, murder for hire is definitely a charge that can get.
Well, yeah, but if it's in furtherance of the organization,
that's the big one.
It's RICO.
Yeah,
and so it makes it federal because it's RICO, and it's easier to prove.
Yeah, because all they got to do is they have to prove that you're committing criminal acts in the furtherance of a criminal organization. So, like, let's say we're all gonna go rob a bank, right? Me and you, you, Bruce, and Mike. We all go to the bank, right? We all rob the bank. Fraser Fit and the CLRs, right? We go in there, we rob the bank.
What's our gang name? Black and Tan.
Black and Tan. The Black and Tans, right? So we go to the bank.
No, Goodfellas.
Yeah, Goodfellas. Yeah, there we go. The Black and Tan Goodfellas. So we go in and we rob the bank, right? Me and Bruce run in there. You're the getaway driver, and they're in the stash house, waiting for the money. So me and Bruce go in there, and I'm like, "Hey, this is a stick up, everybody." Matter of fact,
yeah, I was gonna say
we got the masks and the guns to do it.
So I go in there, right, and I'm just like, "All right, everybody, this is a fucking stick up. I need you guys to pass me the money." Here you go. So I go in there. This is a stick up. I need all the money right now. And then Bruce is like, fuck this shit. And he just starts clapping. He starts shooting at everybody, right? And then Bruce kills like 3 people, right?
Get in the car.
Yeah.
Get in the car, motherfucker.
And then we get like some of the money, right? And we run off, right? And then we bring the money back to the stash house. And, Chris and Mike are counting it or whatever. And we got the money, right? Bang. We got the money. And then we end up getting arrested later on. Well, now they can establish that we're part of the Black and Tan gang.
Sorry, it's hard to take it seriously with the mask on.
Oh, my bad. So we're
Especially
the Black and Tan gang, right? and we're all gonna go down for murder because you shot some people in the commission of the crime because we were doing it in the furtherance of our gang to get the money.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna get hit with that murder that he did just because of that. So. That's all they got to do is prove that we're members of the organization. We committed a crime for the furtherance of said organization. Done. That's how they get the gangs so easily. That's how they took down the mafia, because no one wanted to talk. So when you're able to tell them, hey, well, asshole, even though you didn't kill anybody, you're going to get hit with killing somebody too. Oh, shit. Now I'm going to talk because now I'm going to get hit with way harder charges for doing a job that isn't even for me. It was for someone way higher up.
Yeah.
Leverage. They use that leverage.
Exactly. So... and I remember I bring some people in. Hey, bro, you want to go do some time because such and such did this shit, and he's gonna have a defense team to defend it. You ain't. What you gonna do? Oh,
what did Denzel say in Training Day? You want to go to jail? You want to go home?
Yeah, there you go. You want to go to jail? Or you want to go home? So that's what it is, man. So that's how RICO works. So
Bruce, where can they find your brother?
Wait, hold on. We have more stuff.
What we do?
Yeah, we got more stuff to break down, man.
We got
Okay. Pooh Shiesty, YNW Melly. What's your take on that?
Let's do Melly first.
Yeah. You know a lot about this one.
Well, I talked to the prosecutor. They're going to they're going to shoot for a trial date in January, February, and what really sticks out to me in that case is it was a .40 caliber that killed the passenger.
One of his friends, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know if they had a beef with his mother or some shit like that, but the casing was found inside the car. And what do you know about automatic? Semi-automatic handgun. It spits out the and they went and took him to the hospital, and they said this was a drive-by shooting. And how would a casing get inside the car if it was a drive-by shooting? That's what sticks out to me. And I don't know any of the other evidence. I mean, I'm obviously not privy to the reports. I have looked, and here's the other thing. It's interesting in Florida. They do depositions in Florida. They almost nowhere else do they do that in a criminal case. So that's why it takes so long to get a case to trial, because they have to do all the witnesses in the case.
They depose all the witnesses.
So, in a sense, you almost try your case ahead of time, with all these depositions. So,
can you tell the people what a deposition is, real quick?
Yeah, it's like we're sitting down right here, except for this guy is actually a court reporter, and they take down every word you say, and you
swear you in.
Yeah, but it's not in court, and there's statements under oath, and you get the option to actually question the witnesses before trial. And it's good because I kind of like the idea, because it gives you an opportunity to see the whole case. But the problem that you have is that it just takes so fucking long. We most of the time, here's my reports, I'll give you my reports, let's go to trial, But they're almost done with all the lay people's depositions, and so I've gone through some of the filings, in that case.
Depositions are definitely rare.
Yeah,
like you typically don't do that unless you don't expect the witness to be available by the time.
Like they're gonna die.
They're gonna die, or they're gonna get removed from the country, or some shit like that.
Right,
so,
right.
Okay, so they deposed everybody. So when were we looking at a trial date for that one?
So probably in January. I talked to the lead prosecutor on it, and I just said, "Hey, look, I'm got a show, and I got a question for you." And she was totally open with me. Had no problem talking to me whatsoever.
No, that's awesome.
So she thought
it's all going to be public record anyway when they go to trial.
It is, and I don't know. Do they have cameras in the courtroom down here? I suppose they do.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, for the state.
Did Casey Anthony was that
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that televised?
Yeah, and I think the Zimmerman case was televised, and that was a big Florida
That's
case.
right.
So
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, they'll do it.
Yeah, a couple of good acquittals there.
Yeah, and is it Broward County that has them, or is it
Miami-Dade?
It's Miami. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he's from Broward County. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So damn. Okay. So what do you think? You think he's gonna win that one, or
No.
Yeah.
I'm
As defense attorney, that's
I'm pretty good with my prognostications.
Yeah.
But I don't know who his lawyers are. I did at one point. I think he's got good representation, but sometimes we can't change the fucking facts.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to change the fact that there was a casing
Shell
found
casing
inside the car.
Was there even bullet holes on the car?
No.
There wasn't, right? And they claimed that they got hit with
Pop,
a
pop,
drive-by
pop,
shooting.
pop.
Yeah, you would see a bunch of glass shattered, holes in the car. Okay, so yeah, so basically there's no way around it. A gun was fired from inside the vehicle,
Right.
Which is what they're going to use. And then lastly, Pooh Shiesty, what's your take on that one, man? Which is sad to me.
You tell me what your take is on it.
Mine? Well, number one, I like Pooh Shiesty, so it sucks. They had a hard on for him. For them to go after
Without
him,
a doubt.
Yeah, for them to go
Without a
after
doubt.
him for that, like a Hobbs Act, really? Like
I know.
What's a Hobbs Act?
So a Hobbs Act is like basically when you commit a crime of robbery that affects interstate commerce with a firearm. It's a charge that ATF charges all the time, but the FBI charged it, and I know I read the criminal complaint on it for the case, and it was the FBI Safe Streets Task Force officer, which for some of you guys don't know, like the feds, sometimes they have someone called a task force officer that's sworn in. He's a state officer, right? Like let's say Miami-Dade detective, he's sworn in as a task force officer, so he has the federal authority and he has a state authority, so he can do the state cases as well as the federal cases. So
Yeah.
they're like worth their weight in gold. So this guy, the Afghan, if I'm not mistaken, was either a Miami-Dade detective or a Broward County detective, because that happened. No, I think it was Miami-Dade because it happened. What was that? Where's that nice mall up north?
Sawgrass?
No, the other one on the water. Bell Harbor. He did it in Bell Harbor.
Bell Harbor?
Yeah, so that's Miami-Dade. So yeah, he basically was like a weed and sneaker transaction.
Stupid.
Yeah, dude. Oh.
I mean, and he had 40 grand with him that he left there.
Oh, God.
And what I thought was amazing in that case, what does that say on there?
Yeah, what?
Stop snitching.
So he was holding up fucking money
Stupid.
on Instagram, and they were able,
after.
and
Or before.
okay, let's okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, I can read the serial number on that bill, and they matched it up to the some of the money that fell out. So and then they kind of just tied all the loose ends.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
The fact that they and they're trying to get him for 924C, which is like a possession of a firearm during a drug trafficking crime, because technically he went to go buy weed.
but
he had a gun.
here's the thing: there's 3 different on a 924C.
Yeah.
If you just use it in the commission of a crime and there's no, and nobody's injured or killed, it's a 5-year consecutive mandatory minimum.
Yes.
To the underlying crime. So
Yes.
if you're looking at 5 years on this thing, it's a mandatory 5. So you'll be looking at 120 months.
Yep.
If
10
there's,
years, guys. 10 years.
If somebody's injured, it's 10-year mandatory minimum.
Yep.
And then if somebody dies, it can be up to life.
Yep. Which he
Damn.
shot someone in the ass, so someone was injured.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it doesn't run concurrently; it runs consecutively, guys. So like normally, if you get hit, let's say you get convicted of 2 crimes, right? Both of them are 5 years. You can have it run concurrently, which is like you'll just do 5 years and be out. But
But did he entered a plea, didn't he?
he did. He pled guilty.
Yeah.
But I'd like to read that plea agreement.
Yeah, I haven't seen the plea agreement.
I don't think it's out yet. I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah,
But
or did he enter a plea, or did it just get announced that he's?
I think he just got announced that he was going to plead
Yeah,
guilty, but
so-
it hasn't come out yet what he's going to plead to or
they
anything.
scheduled for a change of plea hearing because he was up to bat for trial. He was supposed to go to trial, and then they canceled the trial and set it for a plea hearing.
Yeah, that would have been bad if he went to trial. Because I read the criminal complaint. It was very well written.
Clean.
Like it was like they had him, dude. Like he's clearly he's there. He pulled out the Draco. They shot him. Dude got hit in the ass, and then they sped away. They were using exotic rental cars. It wasn't hard to identify him. You know what I'm saying? It was in Florida, Bell Harbor.
Was it a McLaren?
A McLaren, and then there was like a Rolls Royce, I think.
I think it was fresh.
Hey, man,
And it
so
was
mine.
him- It was him and his homeboys. I think he has like 2 other defendants in it. And it's like, damn, bro. Like they went there to go do. What I think happened was they tried to rob him or something like that. And because he went, I think he went to go buy weed and sneakers. And they tried to maybe rob him, whatever. He shot at them, and then
But what are you doing buying shoes from? And don't you when you got this cash, don't you have somebody else to go buy your fucking weed for you?
Yo, imagine you're lit, right? A boy hit the club with your homies, right? You and Miami getting lit, feeling yourself. You go to buy some weed and you end up in jail. Bruh, I'll be pissed, dog.
And here's the other thing too. The other thing they're gonna get him on was the shooting at King of Diamonds
in the club.
Yeah. I
Hey,
guess.
man.
Hey,
That lyric.
yeah. Don't need fire. I got my own security in the club. He wasn't lying.
He was alive, bro. Keeping it real.
I got my own fire. Like, it's true. And he shot a security guard accidentally. You know what I'm saying? And like a bunch of money, because he does this little thing where he has like money in his pockets. And I think some of the money fell out. And when he went to go back and get it, the gun like accidentally discharged
Yeah.
and he hit like a security guard or some shit like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. It was like 40, like 10 or 40, somewhere between 10 and 40,000 like fell out the pocket while he was performing. And people were like trying to take the money and he was going
Nothing
whatever.
good happens after midnight.
Facts.
Generally speaking.
And they caught him with the gun too, because like when he was walking out the club, you can see him going like this, like racking it and putting it back in his pants. And if I'm not mistaken, he's a felon.
And that
So-
that happened while this other thing was pending, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So one of the things when you go to a judge and you say, "Let me out because I'll be a good boy," and you're not a good boy, guess what? You get the fuck back in jail. Now you stay there.
yeah.
Stop the
Yeah,
cab.
and it's tough to get bond on a Hobbs Act or like a RICO case like that where there's inherent violence there because the prosecutor's gonna be easy. He's a danger community. You can't let him out. I don't care how much money he wants to put
Well,
up.
and there's a presumption of detention on those cases.
Yes.
So what that means is it's just the judge has to detain him unless because then the burden shifts to the defense to see if they can set up a condition or set of conditions that will assure their release and protect the public.
Yep. And yeah, no, man. I mean, that sucks because he had the game on lock when he released Back in Blood, and obviously backed by Gucci Mane 1017. And
Shout out to Gucci.
I like his music, like his album was good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, fuck, man. Like when that shit happened, I was just like, but I will say this: the one thing in his favor, and I think you were the first one. I found this out from you. The guy, one of the main victims, he got indicted for like fraud.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So that might work out a little bit in Pooh Shiesty's favor that, hey, this guy isn't a reputable witness, but, it is what it is, man. But
Bro, if I'm a nigga without much money, bro, I'm sending my dudes, yo, go get me some weed and sneakers and come back to me.
Yeah, he shouldn't be out there
I don't
like
know
that.
myself. Like, I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they did try to rob him. Like, I mean, because I know he told them, don't try it when they try to do something, and after he had already shot. So,
Hey, man, moving shicey.
yeah. It just sucks, man, because these guys get the money so quick and they don't understand that you gotta. Because he's only like 22.
Bro.
You gotta.
Look at the white entrepreneurs. They ain't getting shot or locked up. They out there enjoying their money. Black rappers are out here getting shot and put in jail.
Yeah,
But it's a culture. It's a culture of beef. It's a culture. This is who I am. I'm street. And then look what happens when you pull yourself out of it. Like what's his face?
Dolph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. His name is Adolf. Who the fuck names their kid Adolf?
Oh, really? I didn't.
That's-
Is that the
Yeah.
government?
Yeah,
Oh,
government.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
that's rare. You don't see that often.
Well,
Yeah, that
I
German.
thought
dude.
about naming Michael Adolf. But
that worked out perfectly.
Fuck out of here.
Hey, man, I mean, they named me Walter.
Yeah.
I got a white ass name.
Well, you kind of. Now I'm the opposite of an Oreo cookie. I'm black on the inside.
Oh, I believe it, man.
No, Bruce is
believe
a
it.
G, man.
Hey,
But
he's dope.
yeah, man. I hope they get him a good plea deal, man, and he's able to get out and get some of that money and get back on his career because he's a very talented artist. Melly is a talented artist. Like all these rappers that we talked about are talented artists, man. It just sucks when
They just do
get in trouble,
stupid
bro.
shit. They
Yeah,
just
bro.
do stupid shit, and they need
Sucks.
some older guy kind of protecting them.
Yeah.
And these guys all get hangers on, yes men, who like look at Prince. Prince died from a overdose, and nobody around him, like Michael Jackson and Elvis. You got all these hangers on, and nobody will speak the
No one in
truth
the
because
camp,
guess
yeah.
what? When you speak the truth, you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, hell, look at Casanova, man. They just got him. They got him on a RICO case last year, and then now he got a superseding indictment came recently for attempted murder.
Yeah.
Because I think they got in like a shooting while they were down here in Florida. Like they shot at some Crip dude.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck, man. Because they found
Bro.
a text messages from one of his homeboys.
So you can see that there's no shortage of business for guys like me.
Yeah, I see. Hey, you got some job security, my
Yeah,
man.
that's
I'll
right.
say that for sure, man. So, man, you take on clients all over the country because
yeah.
you do federal cases as well. So.
Right.
So yeah. Oh man.
Hey, man, I'm a civilian. Let me just network and make some money. That's all I want to
If the
do.
feds come get you guys, hit up Bruce.
Show
Okay.
That's all I wanna
me
do.
the money.
We got. Let's see here. $5 Cape Town. Oh no. What do we got here?
All right.
Okay. Best moderators ever. Thank you, Michael Meestroke. Cape Town. $2 to $5 reminds me of when T.I. got caught with machine guns back in 07. Yep. ATF got him on that one as well. He didn't do time. I know there's a bunch of different rumors out there, but yeah, they got him on that. I remember that. Robertson Ennis. Bruce, do you think Rondo number 9 gonna win his appeal?
No.
Yeah. I
Damn.
don't think so either. That's the murder, right? Yeah. They got him for a murder, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah. $5. I can tell Myron is a shooter simply by the way he held that toy gun, finger off the trigger discipline. Hey man, you got you know what I'm saying? That's why Bruce is the one that killed the guy in the bank, and we're all getting hit with the RICO case.
But I got away.
$5, Sean Biscayne. Bruce is like that cool white teacher in high school that says you can be anything you want to be. All right. And then Mr. Williams, $2. I'm white chocolate too fresh.
I know what you mean, brother.
All right.
We got to show us some girls right now.
Yeah, we got a show coming up with some ladies. So, Bruce, where can the people find you, man?
So
Fantastic interview,
They can
by
go
the way.
on CLR, Bruce Rivers on YouTube. Actually, just put it in your Google machine. You got one of those Google machines.
I think so.
And then that'll pop up. Or you can go to riverslawyers.com, and that's my website. But before we go, I got something for the two of you guys.
Oh, shout out to our boy Bruce Rivers giving us
Son DeMarco.
some class.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, what's the class? I was gonna give us a blicky. I was like, oh shit, nice. I need a new gun.
Pop.
But yeah, man, no, thank you so much.
No, I really appreciate you.
We don't
guys.
drink, but we could definitely give it to the
Yeah,
girls.
we don't drink.
No, actually, we're gonna save this for a special
Yeah,
occasion. This ain't gonna be for the ladies. That's for us.
500K party on YouTube. We'll pop that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
No, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Bruce.
Bruce.
So, and all his links, guys, are going to be below. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yep.
I love the content, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It brings back like fun memories for me watching him break down those cases and everything. And it was really a pleasure to like talk to you in person and have this show. Like, I've been excited all week about it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate meeting both of you, and I think Michael and I are going to go get some dumb brain right now.
Yo, I feel like he's one of us, man.
Yeah, no, Bruce and G, man.
But I can hold you. This Ultimate Element, I let y'all talk. I learned a lot, though. I learned a lot, so, you know.
Yeah, no, this is a
I'm
great
an island
discussion.
boy.
All right, guys, thank you so much, man. We'll be back with some lovely ladies here in about, give us 30 to 40 minutes. We'll
Who
catch you
knows?
guys. Peace.
Peace.